Hello and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity. Now, I just thought I'd jump on here real quick, just to give a channel update. This is mainly about my Patreon page, my Patreon channel. I've sort of made some upgrades to that, so I wanted to let sort of everyone know what is sort of going on with that. So right now, at the moment, if you support me on Patreon, $1 or more, you get access to Patreon only videos, and I also have release like schedules for what I'm going to be releasing next. Um, so the Patreon only videos is basically what I'm doing at the moment is mainly for Star Trek fans. Is I'll have a Patreon only poll on my Patreon page. Uh, Vulture Mark? What does that mean, Cardinal Doomsday? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But anyway, so you can so I'll have a poll on my Patreon page, which will have 5 Star Trek episodes that I've chosen that I personally would want to review. So if you're a patron in any level, you can select which of those episodes that you want me to review, and I'll choose the one with the most votes. So if it's a tie, I'll decide between the two that tied, and I'll release that just for my patrons. For the Patreon only video. However, 2 months later, I will be releasing it to the public. So if you can't afford to support me on Patreon, which is really understandable in these times, you will still get access to that review. It will just be 2 months later. So that's for uh, um, Y WYD. What does that mean? Anyway, um, Watcher? I'm not sure what that means. Anyway, so yeah, so that's how I have it right now, and I'm going to continue that way. So I recently made a couple upgrades to my Patreon sort of page. What I'm doing, first of all, I've added a Discord. So if you support me on Patreon on any level, I'll have a Discord so we all can all like hang out and chat, whatever, and share links. And I might jump on there a lot, so it'll be a quick and easy way to sort of interact with me other than the comments, and it's kind of create a community or whatever. At the moment, I only have 8 Patreon supporters, so it's not going to be like a huge like influx. It would just be like a small hangout, I guess. At the moment, that is, so it's probably not going to be extremely active. But hey, I thought I'd do that anyway. I'm sort of new to Discord and learning the tricks or whatever. But yeah, so that's an additional thing for anyone who supports me at any level on Patreon. Now, in addition to that, I've changed my $5 tier, and this also applies to my $10 tier. So I also renamed the tiers. So the $1 tier is called the Nog tier, $5 tier is called the O'Brien tier, and the $10 tier is called the Cisco tier. Sort of, you know, characters from D Space Nine, because you know how much I love D Space Nine. So that's kind of how I ranked it. Hey, Twists, 7799. Good to see you. So anyway, oh, what are you doing? Oh, sheesh, sorry, I'm not up with the lingo. Anyway, so um, so that's what's going on. So I've changed the benefits for the O'Brien tier, the $5 tier. So with that, you get, of course, all the benefits you would get with the Nog tier. You get access to Discord, you get the Patreon only videos that get once a month, and you also get the schedules, because I email everyone a schedule of all the videos I plan on doing in the coming months. And also, I've sort of changed this up a bit. I'm going to pre-release one video once a month, for 3 weeks in advance. So any patron, any level gets access to that video. However, the O'Brien level, the $5 tier, if you select that, you will get access to all of the videos that I'm releasing on my channel 2 weeks in advance. And I'll put those directly on my Patreon page, rather than emailing it. So if you're a $5 tier O'Brien tier or the Cisco tier can access all the videos that I release 2 weeks in advance. Now, obviously, this does not apply to like episode reviews or TV show reviews that are just being released. Like, I can't release my review for Lower Decks 2 weeks before the episode comes out. I wish I could watch episodes in advance, but I can't. So it only, of course, applies to videos that I record in advance, which is pretty much anything that's not based off of like an episode that just came on. So, for example, if I do like my Star Trek episode reviews or my monthly like season reviews where I review Next Generation season one or top 10 Next Generation episodes, or my BoJack Horseman reviews, or my Expanse character analysis videos, all that kind of stuff that I recorded in advance. If you have the O'Brien or Cisco tier, you will get all those videos 2 weeks in advance, which I will post on my Patreon page. And the Cisco level tiers remaining the same, the $10 tier, although you also get access, of course, to the pre-release of the 2 weeks in advance videos. So you get that additional benefit, but also the original benefit that you can request a video for me to do, and I'll do it. That's staying the same as well. So if you do $10 or more, and you might have noticed some other patrons that taken advantage of that. Kyrie recently has been doing a lot of the ranking all the different roles of Star Trek. Like I think I did first officers, or I take all the first officers from each show and rank them. That was requested video. Colonel Doomsday in the chat here has taken advantage of that in the past, where I did like a top 10 Garrick episodes video, which was actually really one of my more popular videos on my channel. That was requested by Colonel Doomsday. So yeah, if you have the Cisco level tier, you can request a video for me to do once every time you donate. So every month, um, you can request a video and I'll do it. It's cool. So basically, so yeah, those are the additions. Now, if you are sort of supporting me on Patreon and you can only do it with dollars, like I'm sorry, Mark, $1 is all I can afford. That's fine. Just want to make very clear that you're not losing any benefits. I'm just adding additional benefits for the higher tiers. You still get all the benefits you were getting before. Um, in addition, you have Discord now. So that's an additional benefit that's for all tiers. That's something that I just added. So I'm just adding in something spicier for the $5 and higher. You get 2 weeks in advance and Discord in addition to all that. Yeah. So also the other thing I wanted to mention for those who are supporting me on Patreon at any level, usually the pre-release that I do and has been like my Star Trek monthly thing, like it was like Deep Space Nine and Enterprise and the Next Generation season, where I do Next Generation season 1, season 2, whatever. I would release that in advance. Now, at the moment, I'm actually moving beyond Star Trek and I'm doing Breaking Bad. So I'm gonna put a poll on my Patreon page for anyone who supports me at any level, what they want me to do has the pre-release, that the one that I do 3 weeks in advance. That's for every level. Is it going to be? Do you want me to continue with my season reviews and do Breaking Bad, or would you rather me do like keep it Star Trek related and do a Star Trek video once a month, or would you rather I just do it random and do a random video? So I'm going to put a poll on my Patreon page for anyone in any level can go and vote on that poll and see which one they want me to do as my special 3 weeks in advance video. Yeah. So that's how it's going. Now, if you cannot afford to support me on Patreon at all, again, that is understandable. I'm still very much appreciative to everyone who subscribes, likes my channels, comments. I love interacting with you guys. Got a lot of really great interactions with people who don't support me on Patreon. So that's all, just to make it clear, just so you're not feeling left out. That is all still very much appreciated. I just want to add some sort of extra benefits for those who go the extra mile, who take out some of their hard earned cash. I know, and cash flow is hard, so it's really, really special and something I really appreciate. People who even donate $1 a month. It's still, yeah, it's really appreciated that you like listening to the crap I say so much that you're willing to give out some of your hard-earned cash. I just wanted to show my appreciation to you by adding some of these extra benefits. So let me jump in and see what's going on in the chat. Dunkin' Donuts #1. Have you ever seen Star Trek short treks? Um, Iron Trunk goes, hooray, it's a live stream. Sounds like Todd from BoJack Horseman. That's how I'm saying in my head. And Colonel Doomsday, I was watching Lower Decks yesterday, and the therapist reminded me so much of Mr. Peanut Butters. What do you think? It's voiced by the same actor. So that would be why. What's his name? Paul F. Tompkins. I actually didn't make that connection until I learned it was voiced by the same actor. And then I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. So now when I hear it, I hear Mr. Peanut Butters. Also, that same actor is doing a Star Trek podcast, an official Star Trek podcast with the actress who voices Mariner from Lower Decks. And I listened to some of that podcast, and I could not help but hear Mr. Peanut Butters. I think even more so in his role as the therapist, he sounds in that podcast. He sounds just like Mr. Peanut Butters. And I'm like, why is Mr. Peanut Butters talking about Star Trek? What's going on? It's weird. Anyway, Dunkin' Donuts, have you ever seen Star Trek short treks? This I have, and I have done a couple videos on that. You can find on my channel if you use your little search engine there. I'm not a fan of the short treks. My favorite one was the one that I think it was Children of Mars. They called it. It was the one they did for Picard. I actually really liked that one. It was almost like a short film, but all the other ones I think suck to varying degrees. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think the Callisto one is overrated. I think that's actually kind of pretentious and boring, being honest. And the one with the triples, I thought was god fucking awful. It was disgusting. I don't care what anyone says. In my head, I pretend that that doesn't exist, that it's not canon. But anyway, that's just me. Anyway, so that seems to be all the banter that was going on in the chat. I pretty much said everything that I wanted to say. Also, I actually want to give some shout outs because that's not something I tend to do on my channel. I notice a lot of other channels will shout out the Patreon supporters in every single video they do. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't feel the need to do that. It's not that I don't appreciate you guys. It's more of like, me personally, if I was supporting on someone on Patreon, I wouldn't want them to repeat my name in every video. I would just find that tedious. But definitely want to give special shout outs to Colonel Doomsday, Britton Berg, and Kyrie 091. Yep, that's the right number. And Allison Fordyce for being very, very strong Patreon supporters. They supported me so much, particularly. Yeah, and it's very, very much appreciated. I do appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, just get me right here. So it does really help me keep going and doing what I'm doing. Yeah, and also give a special shout out for everyone supporting me on Patreon: Stephen Kennedy, Alessandro. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I always do that. And Norman Buckwald, and yeah, Rogaine Albler. See, this is why I don't give shout outs, because I mispronounce people's names, and they're doing me a favor by supporting me, and I fucking up by mispronouncing a name. But anyway, it is very much appreciated, so much. Let's see. So, Iron Fern is a triple an animal or vegetable. Yeah, now that short trek does not exist. It doesn't exist. Anyway. Let's see. Duncan Dennis says Andrew Robinson said he loved playing Garrick, but he did not like Mirror Garrick. That's an interesting, if not out of left field tidbit. I did not know that. Yeah, I don't know. Like Mary Garrick wasn't that bad to me. He actually didn't seem that different. I guess he was more stereotypical evil, but he wasn't one of the more over the top corny mirror universe characters. I suppose that's why you didn't like him, because I'm sure Cisco and what's it, Avery Brooks and what's her name, Nana Visitor had a blast playing their characters because they were way over the top in the mirror universe. Um, let's see. Oliver says it looks like Sean Doyle is back for season 5 of The Expanse. What do you think? Really? I hadn't heard that. All right, my first thought, if I'm being perfectly honest, is that I question that info. I mean, nothing against you personally. There's a lot of, I've seen a lot of Expanse things saying, oh, this actor character is back, and it seems total bullshit. But if they are indeed bringing Sean Doyle back, and if I do remember correctly, that's the guy who plays Aaron Wright, correct? Um, I thought that maybe the show might bring Aaron Wright back because he was such an important character in the show, whereas in the books he barely appeared and he was barely a thing. So it wouldn't surprise me too much, but it would be weird to try to integrate him into the stories of book 5 and 6. So I don't know. I question that, but if it is true, that'd be interesting. I'm not sure exactly how they would handle it. What other questions we got? Oh yeah, I already answered that. You just asked the same question in a different way. Um, so yeah, okay. I think that's it. I think that's all I'm gonna do. Just come in here to announce the Patreon. If you are not supporting me on Patreon and you would like to support me, it would be very much appreciated. As I said, you get a Star Trek review that you get to vote on which episode I review, and you get it 2 months before anyone else gets to see it. You get to see, if you do $5 or more, you get to see every video I do. Well, not everyone. As I said, the weekly reviews is different, but the ones I record in advance, you get to see those 2 weeks in advance. If Even if you just do $1 level, you get to see one video per month that I do 3 weeks before everyone gets to see it. And if you want to do $10 or more, you can request a video. Tell me what to do, and I will do a video. Also, Discord for everyone on Patreon who supports me on Patreon is a place to hang out, interact with me more, that kind of thing. Anyway, let's see. Sean Doyle is in the list of actors for this. Yeah, but what list of actors? Where did you see this list? I'm trying to say Sean Doyle is the Ben Linus of the TV Expanse. I don't know. I think that's giving him too much credit. Ben Linus is amazing. I think he's one of the best villains ever out there. I did love Sean Doyle, and I did like Aaron Wright. He was a pretty good villain. I would like to see him again, but not Ben Linus level. I'm sorry, not quite there. Um, yeah, I don't know, Oliver. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, because what list of actors? Where are you seeing this list of actors? That's the question. Is it like a Wikipedia page? Because those can be edited. I don't know. Colonel Deuce says, tell you what to do, don't I always, Mark? I suppose so. About the requesting video. No, you don't always tell me what to do, but anyway. Iron Tron says, I mean Ben Linus, in that they liked him so much they expanded his role. Yeah. No, well, we'll see if this is information is correct. Which again, I'm not. I don't doubt you specifically, Oliver. It's just I like to verify every single bit of like spoiler news before I deem it. So as soon as this stream is over, I'm probably going to go on, find it, and find out you're right, that correct. But it's just I'm just cautious about every little bit of information because I've gotten misinformation a lot before. I remember in Game of Thrones, like so many people were trying to tell me that what's her face? What's her name? Lady Stoneheart was going to be in season 6 of Game of Thrones because they saw it on IMDb. And like, guys, IMDb can be manipulated by anyone. Of course, it was bullshit. Now, But on the other hand, there's been a lot of information people have been throwing at me that's been correct, that's been verified. It's I can't tell the difference just from one comment. I have to go and research it and find out for myself. Um, let's see. Stoneheart is going to be on 8K Blu-ray. Really? Oh my gosh. And Michael Emerson is also great on CBS series Evil. Yeah, that show looks dumb. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna watch it. I never got around to watching Person of Interest. People tell me that show is good and Michael Emerson's in it. But I don't know. It's too daunting. There's too many episodes. There's too many seasons. It's hard to get into a show once it's been going for like 8 seasons or whatever it's been. Maybe it was just 6, but whatever. It's hard to get into. Like someone say, oh, a lot of people like Don Willie will tell me I need to watch, and Darren will say you need to watch Agents of Shield. But Agents of Shield has like 25 episodes per season. They did what 6 seasons? Like that is a huge fucking commitment that I just do not have time for. It's easier to get into shows that have just like 10 episodes of like Allison Fordyce has mentioned a strong Patreon supporter suggests I watch the show Devs, which I did watch when I was recovering from my surgery because that was like 8 episodes. And that was good. I liked it. I think the ending was a bit pretentious. I didn't like the ending as much, but it was still a really interesting show. It did kind of get up its own ass a couple times with this philosophy, but it was an interesting show. I liked it. Um, I got a review for Raised by Wolves that's coming out as soon. I'm going to upload it basically as soon as I get off this stream. That was a good show too. I'm also watching Lovecraft Country weekly, and I'm going to review that once that season's finished as well. So those are interesting shows. When I was recovering from my surgery, I watched this show called what was it Future Man, I believe, on Hulu. I just watched the first season of it, and it's okay. I thought it was really stupid, but I thought that it was one of those shows that was just canceled after one season. But then I found out it's actually still going, and they just released season 3 earlier this year. But I was like, I don't want to watch any more seasons of this show. And I went on IMDb, and everyone who likes the show says the first season is the best, and the later seasons aren't that good. I didn't even think the first season was that good. So if that's the case, I'm not going to waste my time with the second and third season. And plus, it seems like they blow through the storylines so quick. I kind of compare it to Bill and Ted, but I think that's being too generous because it's nowhere near as good as Bill and Ted. It's a bit silly and over the top. Um, Colonel Doomsday says, "You watched Raised by Wolves?" Yeah, I did. Um, I talked about this in my review that I'm about to upload. That I was a bit repelled by the fact that Ridley Scott's involved because I'm not a Ridley Scott fan, but I still liked it. I still thought it was really good. Um, but I don't know why is it surprising I watched it. Let's see. Yeah, I know Star Trek Discovery starts the week after Lower Decks. Of course I do. I think I've mentioned that on my channel before. I plan on reviewing that weekly as well. Of course. Of course I do. And I've been reviewing The Boys. Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm going to announce it here for anyone who wants to know. I will be going live on Darren's channel. D's review. You know Darren. He's done videos with him all the time. I'm going to join him and his fans of group. Was it Tuesday night? I think it's fucking what time is it? Oh, 9 p.m. East Coast, 6 p.m. West Coast. I'm going to be joining that. His fans of The Boys, talking with him, Don Willie, and Rob from Smirking Gun, and we're going to talk about this newest episode of The Boys, which I'm pretty excited about. I got my theories. If you see my video on The Boys, you know I have my theories of what's up with that. Colonel Dean says, "Oh, you're only up to episode 5 for Raised by Wolves." Yeah, I would recommend sticking. It's Raised by Wolves has got a really lost feel to it. I mean, the tone is completely different. So the tone is more like your Ridley Scott Prometheus stuff, but better. I don't want to off put anyone, but it's better. It's got Ragnar Rothbuck from Vikings is in it. He's a good actor always, but yeah, it's similar to Lost in terms of its mysteries and how it doesn't really explain everything. But they do say they have a 5-year plan, so hopefully that everything will come together, unlike Lost. Colonel Doomsday, are you and Alyssa going to do a lower deck stream? Well, that's a good question. That's something I had to ask her. I think last time I spoke to her, she said that she was up to doing one, but I don't know if that's still the case or not. Actually, that's a good thing. You reminded me I need to email her and ask her about that. I'm Iron Trent says I'm holding out for Raised by Cats. Well, I don't know. It's not actual wolves that raised them, by the way, it's androids. Anyway. Yeah, Campion is Australian. You know me, Colonel Doomsday. I noticed that straight away. In fact, I was kind of wondering the whole time why Campion was Australian, whereas everyone else in the show had like. Well, I suppose like the androids have more of like a. I don't know if you call that a British accent or an American accent. I think mother's American, but father sounds a bit more British to me. Yeah, I don't know, but they don't. He's only Australian, so I don't know where he got that accent from. And freaking Ragnar Rothbrook, was it Marcus? He sounds just like Ragnar Rothbrook. That actor is just doing the exact same thing he did for Ragnar Rothbrook, at least voice wise. Anyway, because I've seen him in other stuff. That's not how he always talks. But anyway. All right, so now I'm just babbling on. I think I'm good here. I said what I need to say about Patreon. As I said, you can check it out. Go to my Patreon for more information. I put a link to my Patreon page in the description of every video I do. Also on my homepage, there's has the banner of Enchantment of Eternity, has little symbols in the bottom. There's a Patreon symbol there. You can click on it, it takes you there. That kind of thing. Cool. So father is British. That's for sure, definitely. And Stress Free K says have wonderfully written. Raised by Wolves has wonderfully written characters in a world that's similar but bizarre enough to be fascinating. Yeah, that's fair. I would say that. And it's really really like dark and dreary too. It kind of reminds me a bit of Battlestar Galactica in terms of like humanity being fucked kind of part of it. Like they're not constant. It's got a different tone. It's more like dreary because Battlestar Galactica is more like they're constantly being attacked and in fear of their lives, whereas Raised by Wolves is like there's no hope for humanity. We're all fucked. Kind of thing. So it's more of a dreary feel to it. Um, Greetings, X Men. How are you doing? But I'm just about to sign off. I'm sorry to say. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and supporting my channel. Even if you can't support me on Patreon, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, commenting. Love interacting with you guys. Anyway, thanks so much, and I will see all of you next time.